How about the treatment options then? Well, we use toxic drugs, and we have removal of body parts, and treatment rather than prevention is obviously the key. Now, the analogy that I use for people is, we're all aware of automobiles. You go down the road and your automobile stops. Something just isn't working right, you pull over the side of the road, the mechanic comes by and he says, you know what, this part of your car isn't working right anymore. You say, well great, cut it out and leave it here on the side of the road, and let's get going again. Now that doesn't really work with your automobile. You can't just be taking parts off, leaving them on the side of the road and expect the car to work. Now why would the living organism of the human body be any different? And of course we consider that it's a miracle and it's an answer when they find problems. You take your gallbladder out, you take your spleen out, you take your thyroid out, and all these things are taken out of the body. And luckily for us, the body is miraculous and able to back those areas up. Other areas are able to take over the tasks of the parts that are missing, unlike your car, because it's not a living organism that's so interconnected. So if it doesn't really work with your vehicle, why should we expect it to work with the body? And while you may feel better because your pain is gone because your gallbladder, say, got taken out, long term, what's going to happen? Did God not create the body to have all of these parts for a particular reason? So it's not really reasonable. I tend to be very right-wing about the situation because I have people come to me every day complaining about the problems they have. I hear about how they've gone to modern medicine. The answers aren't there. They now feel worse. Of course, the initial pain is gone, and I'm looking at all of the side effects they now have that are very probably caused by the parts that were missing. Because when you take a gallbladder or any part out of the body, something's going to have to back that task up. Well, eventually that area is going to get overloaded, overworked. It only takes so many body parts out until you're dead. If the body is able to regenerate like I'm supposing, like I'm suggesting to you, why wouldn't that be a better option? So the need for alternatives seems logical to me, absolutely necessary if you really want to preserve your body. So that's understanding the need for alternatives. Now I've got my first book, book 1, which is called The Foundation. I really encourage you to read it because I have a lot of statistics in that first book about why alternatives are really the better option, a lot more statistics, how drugs actually work in your body versus how natural therapies work in the body. So I very much encourage you to read book 1, study it up. Everyone who reads it loves it, even people who haven't even been into this alternative stuff before. Again, it's not to sell you anything, just to give you the facts and the information. Ultimately, if you believe in personal responsibility, nobody's going to be able to answer for your problems. So we're kind of trained that you go to the medical doctor and he's responsible, kind of like you go to the mechanic. I don't know anything about mechanics. Take my car, let the guy look at it, whatever he comes up with, that's what we work on. Human body's not going to be quite that way, because if they make a mistake, they're not going to be responsible for it. If your mechanic makes a mistake, you can take it back, tell him fix it. It doesn't work. If the human body, once a part's missing, you can't put it back. It's all over. So you need to be educated. You need to know what you're talking about, what you're dealing with when you go in and get those options. Get a second opinion. Get a third opinion until you get an opinion that you like. Okay? Now, understanding personal responsibility, which is the next phase of this. We are dying as a race, and yet we continue to do nothing. If you look at statistics again, you find out that the human race, at least in the U.S., modern medicine is keeping us alive longer. So the lifespan is a little bit longer than it used to be. So according to the paperwork, it looks like, wow, whatever we're doing, modern medicine has us at a much better position because we live longer. So it must be working. But is the quality of life better than the quantity of life? Meaning, if you're drooling all over yourself, rolling around in a wheelchair and on so many medications that you can't even remember who your grandkids are, is it worth being alive? Depending who you talk to is going to answer differently. But I tend to think that the quality of life is everything. If the quality is gone, you're not really living, which is the whole point of being alive. So then it doesn't really count. And most of us are having severe amount of trouble by the 50s and 60s. The average lifespan is just under 75 years of age. And that's what, 20 years, 10, 15, 20 years that you're going to have trouble even remembering things, holding your own drinks, cooking your own meals, getting your own baths. How many people are in the old folks home because nobody can take care of them, nobody wants to be responsible for it? You could be at home taking care of yourself, off all the medications, helping your body to regenerate tissue instead of helping to poison it until you finally die. That's what medication is going to do for you, especially once you've cut out certain parts of your body, done surgeries, and cut yourself all up. We're not really supposed to be a human experiment. Medication and surgery need to become absolute last resorts. It should become a conviction. Modern medicine, for as much as I'm indicating that it's horrible and it's terrible, is wonderful for trauma. If I cut my hand off right now, I'm not going to run to any kind of alternative shop and try to get some sort of potion to help me. I'm going to go to the hospital and I'm going to see if they can sew it back on, because for emergency medicine, you can't beat it. They've got it great. They've got it, I mean, every year gets better. But we're talking about disease and the disease process. Medicine is not trained to understand that. They're trained in emergency medicine. You cut something, you jab something, you get poked, you get shot, anything like that, absolutely go in there. So that's not really the point. The point is in disease processes. Every day you're either aging or you're getting younger. How many people do you know that get younger as they age? Well, the body has the ability to regenerate. Did you know that every cell in your body regenerates? Even your bones, which take the longest, take up to 7 years. Now, I believe in creation. God created the human body. So the question is, how is it created to be? If we regenerate, what's the purpose for that? If I have a cell here, and this cell wants to eventually just kind of die off, and a new cell is going to take its place, which is what happens all through the body. Your skin does it within 24 hours. Your teeth, your hair, your bones, your skin, every organ, every single part of your body is what they call sloughs off, so the cells are removed, they die off, your body digests them up or gets rid of them, and a new cell takes its place. Now, whatever's in the DNA is going to dictate what cell takes its place. If you continue to medicate yourself, you continue to eat poorly and drink all the beverages that feed disease processes, guess what kind of disease you're going to duplicate? We always have the choice to either duplicate more diseased cells or do the right thing so your body can regenerate new healthy cells. I'm going to tell you more about that too. A healthy diet and lifestyle need to become convictions rather than options, because we're all dying as a race, like I said. So to get to this process, we're going to have to make some changes. Book one that I've mentioned, the foundation, that's what's called the foundation to all health and wellness. I don't care what's wrong with you, because I tend to believe that the body has the ability to regenerate everything. A lot of people are praying, looking for miracles. They're looking for visualization. They're going on trips. They're visiting monks. They're doing all of these things. And guess what? The miracle of healing is inside of you already. You were born with it. God gave it to you. It was a free gift when you were born. We just don't know how to activate it. So I'm going to tell you how to activate your miracle for healing. There is no incurable disease.